Hi, welcome back to Fins China. In this episode, let's begin with a quick recap of my trip in Datong. In the previous two episodes, I visited the Hunyuan grottos, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Along a relatively short cliff, ancient craftsmen carved nearly 59,000 Buddha statues more than 1,500 years ago. Some caves contain giant Buddha statues symbolizing the emperors of the Northern Wei dynasty. Others are richly decorated with musicians and dancers creating what is often called the music cave. Even today, these sculptures remain clear and expressive. They show us how prosperous the dynasty was and how important Buddhism had become at that time. I also visited two ancient temples, Shanxi Temple and Hunyuan Temple. There I saw magnificent wooden halls built by the Liao and Jin dynasties. Some of these buildings are over 800 and 1,000 years old. Inside the halls stand beautiful sculptures covered in thick layer of dust. These are considered national treasures in China. Any one of them could easily belong in a museum. So why did several dynasties founded by northern peoples choose Datong as their capital? One important reason is geography. Datong sits at a key point between the steppe world and the agricultural heartland. To Datong, you could move north onto the Mongolia Grasslands, move south, and you reach the fertile lands of Shanxi and the Central Plains. This strategic location helped shape the city's long history. Later dynasties also left their marks on Datong. The Guandi Temple is dedicated to the ancient Chinese general Guan Yu. His worship spread widely across China and Southeast Asia. Inside this temple stands the city's only building from the Yuan dynasty. The Confucius Temple was built in the 14th century during the Ming dynasty. It once served as both a place of worship for Confucians and a center for official education. Another site is Chunyang Palace, a Taoist temple. Most of the buildings that survive today date to the Qin dynasty. It's a good place to learn about Taoism and traditional folk culture. Datong's old city still holds many places worth exploring. And if you enjoy history, don't miss the Datong Museum. Of course, Datong is not only about history. The food here is just as memorable. Wheat noodles are common, but the real specialties often use grains, like oats or millet. These dishes are usually combined with milk, vegetables, or meat. Some of them need a little preparation before eating. If you have trypophobia, you might want to do the same. Datong also has beautiful night views. Outside the winter season, walking through the old city at night is highly recommended. The illuminated walls, landmarks, and lively streets create a wonderful atmosphere. After 4 days in Datong, I continued south to the small city of Hunyuan. 刚坐大同的公交车到宏源，2个小时，从下午5点走到下午7点。看一下这边这些民宿，这边是这是入口的门，外面就是小县城，有一个独立的院子。这家民宿今天晚上好像院子里只有我一个人，1楼也没有人。然后进来房间还是挺大的，这房子比较宽。这边是沙发休息区，这是一个大床。这边是一个桌子，然后这边是卫生间，挺干净的。马桶是智能马桶，自己开的，还行吧。这房子价格其实比我前几天在大同住那个民宿还要稍微贵一点点。The next day, I planned to visit 2 famous places, Mount Hunyuan and the Hanging Temple. The 2 sites are part of the same scenic area, less than 5 kilometers from the city center. But visitors must first go to the tourist center to buy tickets and take a shuttle bus into the mountains. 到了。
支付成功。
哇，那个水竟然是从那个洞里面出来的。开始攀登，选公司的入园的票价只有15块钱，但如果你想上去的话，就得出100块钱买张登临票。登临票的票价比较贵，其实主要也是为了限制游客的数量。如果便宜的话，大家都上去，可能对古建造成一定的影响。而且据说以后这个登临人数限制会越来越严格，就是每天控制的人数会越来越少，所以能上去的机会就不多了。The Hanging Temple was once listed by Time magazine as one of the world's 10 most dangerous buildings. It was first built in the year 491 during the Northern Wei Dynasty, around the same time as Yungang Grottos. Over the centuries, it was rebuilt many times, so most of the buildings we see today came from the Ming and Qing dynasties. According to legend, a respected Taoist master named Kou Qianzhi asked his disciples to build a temple high above the world and far from the noise below. After searching for more than 40 years, they finally chose this cliff. 看不到了。
主要是人太多了，要对，你要看是这样的。
摘了猫了，
堵在这儿了。
好，抓住这个脚头，你那不少。
Even with visitor limits, there were still many people here. I waited in line for about 10 minutes. 哇，这个台阶看多陡！哎呀，上来还是走不动，走不动。里面空间很小。纯阳宫，第一次见这么小的纯阳宫。往下看一看。
你想一天多少人来呀？多少年呢？一千多年了，1500年。
Looking at this section, it's hard to imagine how people could build houses on a cliff nearly 100 meters high. The secret is not in the thin pillars, but in the wooden beams hidden in the rock. Builders carved long holes deep into the cliff. Then they inserted large wooden beams. At the end of each beam, they placed a triangular vent. When the beam was driven into the hole, the vent expanded, locking the beam firmly inside the rock. These beams carry the entire weight of the temple and have allowed it to survive several earthquakes. 这石头都磨得光滑锃亮的，有磨光。这你的包，说快点说你的包。哦，进去了。我操！稍等一下，好了。背那个包转身呢特别困难。这是三圣殿。
你也是穿着那边过来的吗？没有。
里面有一些浮雕。
后面那个外国友人。
哇！上面还有彩绘。来到了最头上了，再往过就没了，可以往过扩建。This section is probably the most dangerous part of the visit. The walkway is very narrow, and the railings are quite low. I could feel my balance shifting. So I had to ask the people in front of me to move a little faster. 让他们走快点吧。
好，那个。
三教店。只有1.5米的净深。哇，这个高度有点吓人。Inside the hall, you can see something quite unusual. Confucians, the Buddha, and Lao Tzu are worshipped together. This reflects a new Chinese idea that the three teachings, Confucianism, Buddhism, and Taoism, can exist in harmony. 抱身佛，只能弯着腰走。哦，这有个佛像，2个佛像。这些口子原来也是插木的。
对，按这个。把这烟。
有人，工作人员。哇，上面风老大了。
天官、地官，还有什么？那个神官。
童男童女啊。
这是一个道教的。
The Hanging Temple has more than 40 halls. This hall is one of the larger ones. It is dedicated to the three officials in Taoism who govern heaven, earth, and water. They are believed to grant blessings, forgive sins, and remove disasters.
Only 3 Chinese.
到这边就好走很多了。这个店可以进去。
摄影技术已经在飞涨了。
Here again, Buddhist and Taoist figures share the same space. The visiting route inside the temple is one way, so the way down is much less crowded, and the visit ended quite quickly. For me, the most amazing thing is not only the architecture itself, but the fact that people lived here for more than 1,500 years in such a dangerous place. It was a very special experience and a little thrilling as well. In the next episode, we'll continue our journey and head to a nearby mountain to climb Mount Hunyuan, the northern peak of China's 5 great mountains. Thank you for watching, and if you'd like to continue this journey with me, please consider subscribing to the channel.